5 mistakes made by Hitler and already repeated by Putin. Vladimir Putin is famously obsessed with history, yet he hasn't paid enough attention to the outcome of Hitler's invasion. 1. Putin has developed an obsession with revenge. Adolf Hitler rose to power after World War I. He wanted to avenge the Treaty of Versailles. Germany had to accept humiliating terms. It was forced to give up its overseas colonies. It lost lands and territories in Europe. It was ordered to pay war reparations. Germany also had to reduce its army to 100,000 troops. Hitler eventually broke the agreement, starting World War II. Putin came to power after the Cold War. He invades the neighboring countries to restore the Soviet Union. He talks about reuniting Greater Russia. Hitler similarly wanted to unite the Greater Germanic Reich. 2. Putin has been using Hitler's justifications. Both dictators prefaced their wars with annexations. In 1938, Hitler invaded Czechoslovakia. He occupied the Sudetenland, an ethnically German territory. The Führer justified the invasion by protecting German speakers. In 2014, Putin invaded Ukraine. He annexed Crimea and Donbass. He claimed he wanted to protect Russian speakers. 3. Putin has neglected logistics. The once mighty Russian army got bogged down in Ukraine. Putin planned to wrap up his special military operation in 3 days, but he encountered strong resistance and problems with logistics. Russian tanks didn't have enough fuel to reach Kiev. Russian soldiers looted banks and malls. They used unprotected communication lines, such as phones. This led to the deaths of at least 7 Russian generals. Poor logistics came at a price for Hitler too. He expected a quick victory on the Eastern Front, but the German army failed to establish supply lines. German tanks ran out of fuel, and then the winter arrived. The Germans were left with no winter gear. They fought in sub-zero temperatures, in summer uniforms. Some used newspapers and hay to keep warm. The German troops hit rock bottom at the Battle of Stalingrad. They ate dogs and rats to survive the winter. Ultimately, they lost the battle to the Red Army. This was the turning point of World War II. 4. Putin has scared off potential allies. Russian soldiers indiscriminately kill Ukrainian civilians. They have bombed hospitals, malls, and residential buildings. Most of the world has rallied against Putin's regime. The very same thing happened to Hitler. He had many potential allies in the Soviet Union, but German troops plundered and starved Soviet cities. They summarily executed Soviet Jews. This brutality alienated sympathizers and amplified resistance. 5. Putin has created his own swastika. Russia has reserved the Latin letters Z and V for war propaganda. Russian troops use them to mark their equipment. Civilians reproduce them on posters, flyers, and clothing. The letters don't even exist in the Russian alphabet. This parallels the Nazis' use of Nordic runes as symbols. Does Putin even know what happened to Hitler and his Reich?